Welcome to this week's episode of Maroon TV News. I'm Liz Stark.
And I'm Mike Vasilio.
And here are this week's top stories. On Tuesday, the Institute of Politics hosted Senator Rand Paul of Kentucky in a conversation with former advisor to the president, David Axelrod. Axelrod questioned Senator Paul in front of a packed audience at the Cloister Club about his views on NSA surveillance, education policy, and the economy. Senator Paul, who's been named one of 2016's most intriguing potential presidential candidates, also made remarks about healthcare, abortion, and climate change. For more information about future events sponsored by the Institute of Politics, visit politics.uchicago.edu.
The Center for the Study of Gender and Sexuality held a day-long conference titled Food in the Body on Friday. A number of scholars, artists, and performance groups presented their works on the relationship between food and the human body. These range from interactive art exhibits to academic discussions. Students interested in finding out more can check out gendersexuality.uchicago.edu.
Sponsored by the Institute of Politics, the Women in Public Service Project hosted its first ever Leadership Institute on Friday and Saturday. Female students were selected for the two-day pilot program and discussed issues of women empowerment and leadership in the field of public service. The National Women in Public Service Project was created by Secretary of State Hillary Clinton in partnership with the State Department to create a community of women leaders around the world. Through the Women in Public Service Project, Clinton hopes to promote her 50 by 50 idea, which is that women will make up 50% of the public service sector by 2050.
The fifth annual Brazilian Carnival kicked off Friday night in Hutchinson Commons. The Brazilian Student Association hosted the event to share the lively Brazilian culture with the campus community. The Brazilians cooked traditional food and demonstrated capoeira, a Brazilian martial art. The evening was topped off by a performance from the Chicago Samba and dancing.
On Tuesday, members of Fire Escape Films premiered a variety of short films produced during the group's annual 48-hour film festival, a competition that compresses the entire filmmaking process from start to finish to just 2 days. Louise Simpson was there for the report.
The 48-hour film festival, hosted by Fire Escape Films, happened on Tuesday, April 22nd. It showcased 12 films written, directed, and acted in by about 50 University of Chicago students. The students had 48 hours to create the films. The festival was competitive, and the winning movie was a team called the Lily Choo Choos, entitled Ground Spring. The prize was an Alfred Hitchcock DVD collection and bobblehead, and the panel of judges were from Off, Doc Films, WHBK, and a local artist. We talked to one of the students involved, first year Andrew McVia.
First quarter, I joined a film team. We made this film called Venison. It was a lot of fun. I really loved it. So I kept on doing that. I did 2 films last quarter, and yeah.
The president of Fire Escape Films, Hamid Bendaz, talked to us more about the club.
So Fire Escape is kind of the film production arm, you could say, at this university. We are completely student-run. We receive our funding from student government and SG, but then it's just kind of myself and the Fire Escape Committee organizing programs to get students to make short films throughout the school year. And it's completely student-driven, and it's a lot of fun.
I'm Louise Simpson, Maroon TV News.
A number of student climate activists turned out for a Wednesday teach-in about ongoing efforts to get the university to divest from fossil fuels. I was there for the report. Members of Stop Funding Climate Change presented a teach-in on fossil fuel divestment this week in Harper in partnership with the Chicago Climate Action Network. While investing in corporations is necessary to maintain a university's endowment over time, investments in businesses that use fossil fuels can impact the environment. Last year, over 70% of students voted in favor of divestment. And in response, SFCC delivered a detailed 80-page report on the topic to President Zimmer. Since then, Zimmer has responded and has scheduled a meeting between high-ranking university officials and SFCC members. I talked with Sam Zacher about the divestment movement at the teach-in.
Stop Funding Climate Change is a group of 10 to 15 members. We've been working since last spring. We wrote a big report that we mentioned at the teach-in, 59 pages, delivered to President Zimmer. He came back with a letter saying that we'll meet with the chief investment officer. A few other administrators talked about divestment.
10, 15 people show up at a meeting today. We're building power, we're growing. Our ultimate goal is to get the university to completely divest from fossil fuels.
Stop Funding Climate Change will meet with the administration next month to discuss divestment for the university. This is Mike Vasilio for Maroon TV News.
There were masks and bow ties aplenty at Broadview's Masquerade Ball on Friday, held in the Residence Hall's very own ballroom. Kimberly Hahn was there for the report.
Friday night, Broadview Dormitory organized an enchanting masquerade ball as a fundraiser to the UChicago tradition, SCAV.
The event took place at the Broadview Ballroom where hors d'oeuvres and masks were provided. Students dressed in formal attire and disguised their faces with masks and danced along to the music by DJ Ryan Wise. Nadia Al-Hadi, the event organizer and one of the SCAV captains in Broadview, explains the detailed processes of how she prepared for the masquerade ball.
I had one of the girls on the scavenger hunt team do some marketing, create our flyers and stuff, and we just marketed outside of Cobb and decorated, and I talked with the guy who's the head chef for this, and that's really it.
Elliot Hoya, second year, explained his costume for the ball.
It's like SCAV, I guess. Like, you never know when some weird guy with a horseman might just show up to a fancy masquerade ball party.
Besides the masquerade ball, there are other events around campus to fundraise for SCAV.
So the past few weeks, we've been standing outside of Cobb selling some dad donuts, probably the best donuts in Chicago. So if people are ever out there, they've probably heard us screaming, and we'll probably be doing that for the next couple of weeks as well.
And if you're still unsure about participating in SCAV this year, Thomas explains that you have the flexibility to commit as much time as you want and just have fun.
What is great about SCAV is you can do what I do. You can not sleep a lot, you can go hardcore, try to do as much as possible. But SCAV's great because if there's just one item that you're really interested in, you can do that item. And that's what I really think is great about SCAV is everyone can find something that they can be passionate about and get behind and have a lot of fun with, because that's the whole point of SCAV, getting a lot of people to have a lot of fun.
I'm Kimberly Hahn from Maroon TV News.
Members of New RSO, the Music Forum, held their third album listening session of the year in Goodspeed Hall on Tuesday. Music fans from a variety of backgrounds came out to listen to Dummy, a critically acclaimed 1994 album by the British trip-hop band Portishead. Previous sessions featured Radiohead's 1997 classic OK Computer and last year's Modern Vampires of the City by indie act Vampire Weekend. The Music Forum also holds bi-weekly jam sessions for student musicians in Logan. Catering for the event was provided by Cedars.
One new RSO has figured out a way to put a dozen silent UChicago students in a room without awkwardness: an album listening. Thursday night, the Music Forum hosted an album listening for Portishead's Dummy. Following their fourth listening, which was of Radiohead's Kid A, students experienced the pioneering trip-hop album in 2-song chunks, interspersed with discussion from the group. The informal conversation grazed the distinctive qualities of the singer, the use of tempo to create mood, and Portishead's link to other similar forms of music. To learn more about the Music Forum or participate in another album listening, check out their website. For Maroon TV News, I'm Sarah Claypool.
Thank you for watching this week's episode of Maroon TV News. I'm Liz Stark.
And I'm Mike Vasilio. Have a great week.